Good evening and welcome to Forecast from Flagstaff. My name is Chad Eichhoff and I serve as Chief Enrollment Strategist here at Northern Arizona University, joined by my colleague,
Annika Olson, and I serve as the Vice President for Enrollment Management. And tonight we are so thrilled to be filming from our brand new Student Athlete High Performance Center. On your screen, you'll see more of the building during our big grand opening that happened towards the end of the semester. This facility is amazing, has amazing view of the peaks, and we're filming from the weight room here on the ground floor. So we are so excited to be here. Yeah. It's kind of a big deal that we get to film here.
Yeah, we're spoiled with an awesome view of the peaks as we look to the right there.
As a former college athlete 30 years ago, I can say that this weight room is it's like super high tech. Looking around, it's just really amazing. But speaking of brand new, we have a new Forecast cast member to introduce this evening. Danny Donaldson is our new Director of Recruitment and Orientation, and we are thrilled to welcome her to the role and to the Forecast.
Thank you so much for having me, Annika and Chad. I really appreciate the opportunity. As Annika mentioned, my name is Danny Donaldson. I'm the Director of University Admissions here at NAU. I am a third-generation Flagstaff local and a two-time NAU alumna, so I'm really excited to be serving as a resource for you and your students as you figure out why you should be choosing NAU.
Awesome. And we are equally thrilled that you're in the role, Danny. So on tonight's episode, so many of the questions we've been fielding on the phones, via email, and even on Instagram have really focused around housing and students' living experience. And I know that's a stressful thing, but don't worry, we're going to answer all those questions and more with our Director of Campus Living, Cassie Luke, as our first guest. After that, we're going to have our Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics to share with you a little bit more about how you can be supportive of some of our amazing lumberjack traditions. So Mike Marlowe will be joining us as well. But it wouldn't be a forecast if Chad didn't give us the forecast. So Chad, take it away.
Always a disclaimer, I'm not a meteorologist, but I can tell you it is warm by Flagstaff standards as we head here into the weekend, looking into the high 80s. Those of you joining us from Phoenix and elsewhere in the state of Arizona, probably a little jealous of those temperatures now, as I'm sure it's much warmer than that where you are. But we're having a little break from the monsoon rains right now, but I'm sure they'll be back in short order here in Flagstaff. But excited for an awesome episode tonight. And as we mentioned, housing is going to be one of the main things that we're touching on tonight. And we're going to start off with a quick video telling you 3 steps you should be thinking about. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Move-In Day at Northern Arizona University. The move-in process consists of 3 steps. Step 1, prepare for move-in. You'll find important details and links about what to expect at nau.edu/move-in. Review the information on our Preparing for Move-In page, where you'll also find the What to Bring list. Remember to plan ahead and pack smart. Step 2, schedule your move-in appointment. You'll be notified by NAU email once it's time to schedule your move-in appointment in the housing portal. All residents must schedule a move-in appointment for their arrival. This reduces traffic congestion on campus and ensures a smooth and positive move-in experience for everyone. Print your confirmation, which includes your appointment date and time, building, best contact phone number, and on-campus driving directions. Step 3. Move to campus. On the date and time of your move-in appointment, place your printed confirmation on your windshield. If you're not arriving in a personal vehicle, bring the printed confirmation with you. Use the directions provided on your confirmation page and follow the signs to help you navigate campus. Be sure to arrive on time to your short-term unloading zone. If your guest move-in helpers are arriving in a different vehicle, please have them park in the designated long-term lot noted on your directions to campus. Once you arrive at the unloading zone, check out a blue bin or handcart from our welcome jacks. Your guest move-in helpers can begin to unload your belongings while you head to your front desk of your campus living community, or CLC. There, you'll check in and receive your key. Please have a barcode from your confirmation available on your phone or another printout, as this will be scanned to check you into the CLC. Return to the unloading zone to move your belongings to your room and unload your vehicle completely. Return the blue bin by the end of your move-in time slot before you start to unpack your room. Please note that unloading zones are used for move-in only, and parking in these areas at any other time of the year may result in a fine. Also, keep in mind it will be August, so there might be a little rain. That's it! Now it's time to unpack, explore, and enjoy your new home away from home. Be sure to visit nau.edu/movein for additional information and helpful content. Happy moving, and we'll see you soon.
Welcome back. That nau.edu/move-in link is really helpful. You can find that video there and lots of other information. Cassie, thanks for joining us to talk more about housing and what that all looks like. The first question I want to ask you, there may be a student joining, a family joining, where the student has not yet applied for housing, and maybe they chose they're coming to NAU late or chose they want to live on campus kind of late in the game here. Is it too late? Can they still apply for housing?
Yes, they can still apply for housing. We will keep our housing application open as long as we're able to house students. While I know that our application is open now, that may not be the case in a couple weeks, so we encourage students to apply as soon as possible.
All right, so if they're a student watching and they're thinking about living on campus, when this episode wraps up, go apply for housing. So many of our students I know have already selected their room that they're going to be living on campus. But some of the students that have applied for housing haven't selected a room yet. What does the room assignment process look like for those students?
Yes, you're right. For many of our students, they participated in the room selection process between January and the end of June. For those students who didn't participate in that process because they applied May 15th or afterwards, we are working on their housing assignments during this month of July. For those who are latest applicants, we'll continue to do housing assignments on a rolling basis. Our staff will email their NAU email address with any details about that housing assignment.
Awesome. Always a good reminder, checking that NAU email address. A lot of important information goes to the NAU email address, so a good habit for incoming students to get into. And what I heard you say there is if you are a student that has applied for housing and not yet been assigned a room, not to panic, they will be getting a room assignment. So be staying tuned for that. So if you're a student that maybe has already applied for housing, maybe already selected their room, what should they be doing now to prepare for their time here in the fall?
Yes, so on our move-in page, we do have a full list of things you can do to prepare for move-in. I'm going to point out 3. So the first one is communicate with your roommate. You can find your roommate's NAU email address on the application status page within the housing application in our housing portal. And we recommend emailing them to introduce yourself and to start planning collectively what you're going to bring to your living space. The second thing I'll point out is checking out our what to bring list. It has a list of essentials, and we do recommend that you start with the essentials, so start simple and bring fewer things, and get renter's insurance for whatever you do choose to bring. And then the final thing that I'll point out is to live in the residence halls, you'll need to have an active JAX card. So if you haven't submitted your photo yet for your JAX card, we recommend that you go ahead and do that so that that's ready by the time you're arriving to campus.
Awesome. And I know in our last segment of the show today, we had some additional JAX card questions, so we'll be diving a little deeper into that as well. So one of the move-in process parts is choosing a move-in appointment. Can you talk us through what that looks like?
Yes, so at NAU, we've been using move-in appointments for about 7 years. It really helps create a smooth and positive move-in experience for everybody, including traffic flow into and onto and throughout campus. So in July, you will get communication about when you can start to select your move-in appointment. Those will open up in early August, and there'll be an abundance of options, and from those you can choose your favorite 40-minute move-in appointment that works best for your schedule and the schedule of the move-in helpers that you might choose to bring. You'll just want to make sure that the start of that move-in appointment corresponds to when you would arrive on campus, so that you're here for that time slot that we set aside for you and the welcome volunteers that we'll have available for you.
Awesome. And I know a common question that we get, maybe a family's coming from out of state and they're saying, hey, we need to book flights and we haven't chose our move-in time yet. I think it's safe to say, right, Cassie, that they are going to be able to choose the day that they want. It's just a matter of choosing that time slot within that date. So don't hesitate in booking a flight and choosing which day that you want to come to campus. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. So a student has chose their move-in appointment. That's all set up. It's move-in day. What does that look like?
Yes. So when you select your move-in appointment, there'll be a confirmation page that you're told to print out. That will include the directions to get you to campus and how to navigate through campus. So if you follow those instructions, you should arrive to your temporary or short-term unloading area at the beginning of your move-in appointment. You will, at that point, be greeted by a variety of volunteers, staff volunteers who are helping with parking and making sure that you're parking in a correct area, and then also student volunteers who are there to help you unload your car, hopefully very quickly and efficiently. We're hoping for one load so that you can do more important things during the day than just unloading your car. At that point, we want you to go inside and check in so that you can get the key to your room and drop off all of that stuff that the welcome jacks helped unload from your car. At the end of your 40-minute move-in appointment, you should be reparking your car in long-term parking, and then you should have the rest of the day to do all the fun stuff like getting unpacked and moving in, exploring campus, etc. I will note that it often rains during move-in because of monsoon, like you said, and so we would encourage people to pack prepared for that.
Awesome. And I know that 40-minute time slot sounds like a short time, but it works with the welcome jacks and all the help. It's a really well-oiled machine, the move-in process there. Any additional questions you have around move-in, again, that website, nau.edu/move-in, is a huge resource for you. Thanks so much for joining us, Cassie. We're going to have the opportunity now to hear from some of our students about what to bring. Let's take a look.
With opening coming soon, you may be excited to plan for your home at NAU. We'd like to help you pack smart so your move-in experience goes well. Pack the essentials first. Really think about what you're actually going to need and only bring one carload of belongings, and definitely no U-Hauls. For example, you're not going to need a massive head-to-toe bubble jacket when you arrive in August. So visit nau.edu/what-to-bring for a guideline to get you started. When you arrive for your move-in appointment, you'll be able to check out a blue bin to help you move things. Your move-in challenge is to move into your room using as few trips with the blue bin as possible. We have some ideas that can help you prepare for this. Use boxes to pack oddly shaped items like hangers, shoes, and bottles so it's easier to get them into the blue bin without the dreaded hanger avalanche happening. Our packing pros have some more tips that they'd like to share.
Students shouldn't bring their own furniture. We provide that already.
Bring reusable grocery bags. They don't take up a lot of space.
Less heavy-duty winter clothes, less heavy jackets.
I would just say bring what you need, don't overthink it.
Do not bring duplicate items. Plan accordingly to your roommate and agree what one person can bring and the other person can bring.
So pack smart and make sure to keep checking your NAU email. We'll see you on campus soon.
All right, welcome back, and thank you so much, Cassie and Chad, for all of the helpful information that you've provided about move-in. Now we want to pivot here just a bit. Mike Marlowe is here, Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics, and we want to know a little bit more about the space where you are hosting us. Thanks so much for having us here. Tell us about it.
Well, so thrilled you're here in the Jennifer Marie Wilson Strength and Conditioning Center, the result of a very generous gift by her parents, Rich and Nancy Wilson, in her memory, an opportunity for our current students to have the opportunity that Jennifer Marie did not, but as Annika mentioned earlier, state-of-the-art equipment through their generosity as alums.
quite a bit of amazing technology in this space. I was learning about the high altitude performance area as well. So just a lot of really great resources here for our D1 athletics at the university. So Mike, I'm curious to know about some of the recent successes of the Lumberjacks. What have we been doing out there on the field, track and field? What are some of those successes?
Boy, where do you start? You of course have to start with cross country. 5 out of 6 national championships. Our swim and dive program has won 9 consecutive WAC titles. We're the defending President's Cup champions in NAU athletics, which is the highest honor bestowed on an athletic program for both academics and athletics in our league. So just very proud of the effort and the attitude and the pride that our young people take in representing NAU.
Yes, yeah, I love it. As a 2-time NAU alumna, I know that I always get out there and support the Jacks when I can. So tell us a bit about what that looks like. How can students, their families, get involved in supporting the Lumberjacks throughout the year?
Well, families, be here for Family Weekend for sure, an opportunity and an excuse to come visit. If you're an alum, come for every game. Students, we have a great tailgating environment and opportunity to get involved in the Student Booster Club. Wear the colors, be present, show some school spirit.
I love it. And don't forget to show your LJs, right? I got too many things in my hands at this point in time, but we are the Lumberjacks here at NAU. So get them out and support us and all the things that we are doing. So Mike, last question for you. You mentioned a couple of my favorite traditions here at the university, but in terms of traditions that relate to athletics, what are some of your favorites?
Well, certainly interconnected. Love the running of the freshmen. I mean, that is just awesome. It's a sight to behold. You've got to see it. Also during the winter times, the Kiss My Axe t-shirts that our students come up with every year is very creative. Student tailgating, alums in the parking lot as way back Jacks. It really demonstrates school spirit at a very high level.
I love it, yes, and would also recommend getting out and going to the homecoming parade. I think that is among the top favorite traditions here that I have at NAU. Really appreciate you taking some time sharing this space with us for today's forecast from Flagstaff. And now we're going to toss it over to Cameron to learn about some favorite places on campus.
Hi, I'm Cameron, and I'm at the South Recreational Fields here on the south end of NAU's campus. Here you can find a lot of different activities ranging from the lacrosse team practicing or intramural sports. I've spent a lot of time here playing intramural soccer matches with my friends, or just coming down here on the weekends and kicking a ball around, throwing a frisbee, throwing a football, whatever it may be. It's a really cool place to come and decompress after a long week of school and be able to just get active, get outdoors, and enjoy some time with your friends.
Thank you, Cameron, for showing us the South Fields. So I had an opportunity to look at the chat a little bit while you're out here, and looks like we've got folks joining us from Alaska, Wisconsin, California, my neighbor state to Minnesota, those of you joining us from Wisconsin. And there was a couple questions in there which really helpful. Our staff, I think Rolanda and Nancy are helping us in the chat tonight answering some of those questions. Keep them coming and they'll certainly help answer those as they come in. I know Erica was asking about the Edge Leadership Program and Move In, if they can move in early for that. And we do work with approved programs for an early move-in. So Edge Leadership Program is one of those programs that we would be working with. Toby, I know you asked kind of a clarifying question about if you move into the lobby. You will be moving things to your room, but you would go to the lobby to initially be getting your key, getting a blue bin to be able to be pushing your belongings to your room. And then Kyoko asked a question about their not being able to see their roommate's email address in there, and that should be in the application status page within that housing portal is where you would be able to find that email address. So now we're going to jump into the questions that were submitted ahead of time on the survey, and that's always really helpful. It helps drive the content of these programs, so really appreciate all of you that sent in questions ahead of time. And Danny, I'm actually going to throw first question your way.
Sure.
When is tuition due and how do we pay it?
Oh, excellent question, because in the month of July, you'll start to see all of those charges being added to your student's account. And you can locate all of that information inside their Louis portal. So definitely recommend that students are logging into their Louis account, watching those charges be posted for housing, meal plans, and tuition. Now, to answer the question directly, August 22nd is when tuition is due. And about 10 days before the semester starts, we will make sure that we are dispersing all of your financial aid funds. So any scholarships, grants, or loans that you've said yes to and accepted, those will hit your account first, and then your job is to make sure that you're getting that final tuition balance down by August 22nd. Now, we do have a couple of tuition payment plans that students can look into as well, and so I definitely recommend that you check out our Student and Departmental Account Services website, where they've got all of these dates and processes outlined on the website.
Awesome. One of the other questions that came in ahead of time, which I'll take, was other than applying on Handshake, are there any other things you should be doing to get an on-campus job? This person specifically asked about work study, which is a federal program where you do receive financial aid that helps pay your student wage here on campus.
Yep.
But even if you don't qualify for work study, you can certainly get an on-campus job as well. We employ several thousand students in various different positions. I'm sure Cassie could have talked to us about lots of positions in their teams, certainly in the admissions office.
Admissions
and then
is hiring.
all around campus, lots of opportunities there. So Handshake, if this is the first you've ever heard of it, it is a portal, nau.edu/handshake. And students can go there and see a listing of on-campus jobs. It's also a portal that shows internships and then jobs they could get after being a student here on campus. So that really is a great way to go about that. We also have a part-time job fair
Yes.
that will be at the beginning of the school year, so look for more information there, where you might have the opportunity to do a quick interview and be hired on the spot for some on-campus jobs. So that's another great opportunity. But certainly right now, as you're looking ahead to the fall and you're at home, looking at that Handshake portal for those on-campus jobs is a good option for you. Danny, another question that came in, or actually we had a couple in this vein, health insurance. What does that look like? Is there a health insurance option through NAU? What should students be thinking about there?
Yes, yeah, and I wanted to make sure that we pulled the specific insurance areas: Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, Cigna, United Healthcare, and TRICARE. And so if I didn't list your insurance, then you have options as well. Louis Care is $135 a semester with a $10 copay, so that can be a very affordable option for our students. We also work with student health insurance plans, and those premiums are on the website. And your last option would be to pay $58 for a service fee. So Campus Health Services is the website that I would recommend that you check out. Go through all of those various options. Once you sign up for SHIP, as it's called for short, it's an auto enrollment process those semesters that follow. So a lot of good options for you to take advantage of, physical therapy, just your regular checkups, or even counseling services. So wanting to make sure that our students are taking care of themselves both physically and mentally as well.
Awesome. And the folks over at Campus Health Services are awesome. And certainly if you've got specific questions about your insurance plan, reach out. They'll certainly talk you through that. One of the questions that came in ahead of time was around a student that didn't come for any of the in-person orientation options. So kind of what are the options? And the website that I would point you to is nau.edu/welcome. And on that website, you can see a full calendar of virtual offerings that we have. Forecast from Flagstaff that you're watching tonight. We also have more in-depth look at housing. We've got financial aid webinars. We have Spanish sessions as well too, if your families would prefer a Spanish session. And if you have not come to campus yet, we do have campus visits as well.
We do have campus visits, yep. Throughout the month of July, we're doing them Monday through Thursday, every day at 10 o'clock, so sign up. We would love to host you on campus so that you can get a good feel of what the campus community is like.
Yep, so hopefully these virtual options, parents, those of you joining us, we do have parent chats. We've got a couple more of those this summer as well to dive into the questions and answer more of those. So those are some ways to connect with us virtually. We have an important question here that came in ahead of time. It was around water and hydration stations. I like that. That's important. We get food questions a lot of times, but here's a water question. What options do students have here on campus?
Yes, yeah, a number of hydration stations around our campus community. So definitely recommend that students bring or invest in a reusable water bottle. You're at a 7,000-foot elevation, so it's important to make sure that you are staying hydrated while you're walking around our campus community. Now, that's just one of the many sustainable resources that we have here on campus, and so actually I was really excited to learn about the composting that we do on campus. We do glass recycling. There's the Yellow Bike program as well. So in addition to having those hydration stations all across campus, we also have a number of sustainable programs in place here as we're committed to the environment here at NAU.
Awesome. And I mentioned earlier in the episode that we talk a little bit more about the JAX card, which is the student ID, since we are the Lumberjacks here on campus. The website you need to know for that, nau.edu/JAX card. And it does go more in depth and talk about a lot of FAQs that can really answer those questions there. But what you need to know right now is, as Cassie mentioned, be submitting a photo to the JAX card. And that is regardless of if you want to end up having a digital JAX card or an actual plastic JAX card, like me. I'm kind of old school. I've got the plastic JAX card. And either way, the step you need to be taking now is submitting that photo on that JAX card website. If you are an Apple user and have an iPhone, you are able to choose a digital credential and have that set up to your iPhone or your Apple Watch as well. Android users, expect an announcement coming about that later this summer. For those of you that may want the digital credential and are an Android user. Now, the question that came in ahead of time was, can students have both? Can they have a plastic card and can they have a digital credential on their phone? The short answer to that is no, and they do have to make that choice about which of those two options they want. And really the reason for that is security. We don't want students essentially having two IDs out there, and maybe they aren't keeping track of their plastic ID because they're using their digital ID. So the students do have to choose one or the other. If you are an Apple user, right now the digital credentialing piece is available to you. So if you do know that you want the digital credential, you can sign up for that. Again, nau.edu/JAX card is where you will go for that. And the last question I'll actually throw your way, Danny, around transportation on campus and shuttles. What does that look like?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. As I mentioned, the free Yellow Bike program. So that's one of the ways students can get around campus. It works like the library. You check out a bike for a week or two. You're cruising around campus. We give you a lock. But if biking at a 7,000-foot elevation is not your style, we also have a shuttle service that runs across our campus community. So those buses can be tracked on the NAU Go app, which makes it really convenient for planning, especially during the winter months when it's, snowing outside. And so it makes it really convenient for students to get around campus. Now, walking, I would say maybe 25 minutes if you're going from north to south because it is downhill. But jumping on those shuttles turns it into about a 10-minute ride around campus.
And we didn't get a question submitted ahead of time, but usually we do, so I'll just throw that website out there for parking. For students that do plan to bring a car, nau.edu/parking, and August 1st is when parking permits will become available. Cars certainly are not a necessity. You can do just fine, as Danny mentioned, lots of ways to get around without a car. So would encourage a first-year student, leave that car at home. It's not something you need, more of a luxury than a necessity. So thanks so much, Danny, for joining us on the episode. And looking forward to our future opportunities to connect with you virtually throughout the summer, either on parent chats or the upcoming forecast from Flagstaff, which I know we've got an exciting episode planned for August. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yes, a little bit of a teaser to finish up here tonight. But we'll see you again soon. And until then, go Lumberjacks.